Just want to let you know that we're also on brighteon.com. You can find our channel there.
So we have been in El Salvador now for a month and a couple of days. And I wanted to do this video to talk about the people of El Salvador. When we came here last year, I put up on the Facebook group about that we were coming at a certain date. We needed to arrive from the airport to our Airbnb. We only had, I think the first Airbnb we rented was just for 3 days. And then we were going to look around for somewhere else. And we had someone write back to us saying, oh, they could give us a ride, and it was a certain dollar value for that. And then he kept in touch with us because this was probably a month or two before we're actually leaving to go. And as we're talking in one of the conversations, he said he just lost his job. And I said, oh, maybe you can become our driver then for the time we're here. We're here for 3 weeks. And that worked out really well, except halfway through that, he actually got another job. So he couldn't take us during the day then, but he took us in the evenings, and we went out on the weekends, and I told him his girlfriend could come with us, and we paid him a fee for that, and he was just really kind to us. And then he stayed in touch with us for the whole year while we've been back in Canada, and we're just really, really close friends now. That was our first real experience with the generosity of the people in El Salvador. I guess our second one would be when we were at our last Airbnb last year. The owner of the Airbnb came by and he said, I like to see who's renting my places. So he stopped by when we were having dinner with our friends, and he spoke pretty good English, but our friend kind of translated that we were looking to maybe buy some land because we want to start an orphanage. And so this guy got on the phone with his friend, and he was trying to arrange a land deal for us, and that went on for a few months. And the land was really remote, I guess I could say, because there was no road out to it, there was no electricity out to it, so it would need a lot of development, and could potentially still be available to us. So just right now, I think we have slightly different priorities for where we'd like to be, but we'll see. He didn't have to do any of that stuff, and he took my friend out to see the land. They did a video call, and he stayed in touch with our friend Stan this whole year. So they're now friends now because of us wanting to buy this land. It's kind of funny. Now, we were here maybe 3 days, and we decided to walk down through our community, which is Zaragoza. And when we were walking down, I hit a slimy patch in a little gutter, and I slipped. It was slick as ice. And when I fell, there was actually a broken beer bottle in the little gutter. And we had a couple people just in the neighboring shop come running over, and they had these bags of water to help me clean the blood off my leg. I actually cut both my legs, the side of my left leg and the knee of my right leg. And they helped me. They got Kleenex, and I can apply pressure so it stopped bleeding. And one guy even got like an elastic band to hold the Kleenex against my leg to apply pressure. And then my husband mentioned about going somewhere to get some disinfectant, and the guy runs over with some hand sanitizer. So my husband rubbed it all over my legs, trying to make sure there's no infection, because it was pretty dirty where I fell, and especially a broken beer bottle. You just don't know what's in this stuff. And even a little 3-year-old kid came over with a package of baby wipes to help me to clean up my leg and my dress and my arm and everything else that got really nasty. So that was really amazing. I mean, these people don't know me. They didn't even speak my language. One guy spoke a little tiny bit of English, and they end up, suggesting nobody had a car apparently, because they asked if we had a car, and we'd said no, and they said, what about calling an Uber? And so that was my first experience with Uber also, and I think we've used them maybe 13 more times or something like that. It's something we now use regularly to get around. But that was my first experience. And my husband and older son, they had walked to the grocery store to pick up some bandages and different things. And me and the 2 younger kids, we took the Uber home, and it was like $2.85, I think. We were pretty close by, and it's pretty inexpensive when you're not having to go too far. Now, for my next story, we decided we wanted to not stay in Zaragoza, but we wanted to get a rental home when we're going to a different community. And as part of the rental agreements in El Salvador, you need to go to a notary's office, and they draw up a lease agreement for you. So we told the Uber driver the address that we were given in Santa Tecla, a specific place, and he dropped us off, and it was one of those passages. It's Pasea, and it was number 6, and he said, this one's number 6, and he kind of pointed to it, and we were supposed to walk down there and find this house. Well, we're looking around, and there was a lady doing her laundry through her gate, and I asked her, if this was the, passage number 6, and she didn't speak any English, so I showed her my phone, and she kind of took my phone through the gate bars and looked at it, and it's hard to see my phone in the bright sun, and I have a little filter on my screen, so you can't see it from certain angles, so no way you can kind of copy your passwords or whatever. So she's looking at my phone, and there was a lady walking by with her dog, and she was trying to explain to us how many twists and turns we'd have to do to find this address. And this lady walks by with her dog, and she asked her to help us. And this lady says, oh yeah, follow me. And so we went with her, and she was running up ahead of us. She was jogging with her dog, and we finally got to the place that, we thought it was. It was not even remotely close to where we're supposed to be. And when they had shared the pin drop on WhatsApp to where they were waiting for us, because I said we're lost, I thought it wasn't live because I couldn't see where we were on the map. And when we were walking back to sort of like the main road to call another Uber, this girl's waiting for, I guess, her ride to school. And the lady asked if she spoke English, and she said yes. So we spoke a little bit, and she takes my little map and expands it. And like, we're on the map, but we are really far away. We're 2 or 3 kilometers away from where we're supposed to be. It wasn't really Santa Tecla, the address, it was Santa Rosa. So that's how we got really lost. I can understand how mail would be a real big problem here, the way the streets are labeled and named, and the duplicate names and that kind of stuff. It makes it very hard. And I mean, passage 6 is probably used 1,000 times in this country, I'm thinking. So maybe some more unique names would help with mail delivery in the future. Maybe Amazon delivery. We can cross our fingers for that one. But anyway, so she's telling us that she has a car, this lady with the dog, and then she makes a phone call, I guess, probably to her son. And so he meets us at the car with her, and he takes the dog, and she drives us to where we have to go. And I guess once the people we were waiting for told us there was a gas station nearby, she knew exactly where that was. So she dropped us off at the gas station, and then the real estate agent was going to come get us at the gas station because it was just a couple houses over. But I could see now where the pins were on the map. I'm like, oh, we could just walk it, right? We just walked over. We were like 15 minutes early for what we thought was the right location, and ended up being like 45 minutes late for the real appointment at the real location. So anyway, that was our second experience with the generosity in this country since we've been here this year. So we've been here for probably about 3.5 weeks when our next new friends, which were helping us with our shipping container, Ricardo and his wife, they came over to visit, and they brought us all these treats and coffee and just really kind to us. And I'm told that's the Salvadorian way. When you go to visit somebody, you bring something with you. And my friend said, never go at a meal time at someone's house. You don't come and show up for lunch or whatever, because you don't know what circumstances people are in for being able to prepare a meal for you or that kind of thing. So they came by with all these gifts for us and the kids, and this was really nice for them to do that. And they picked up our paperwork because they're going to help us with the residency part. So our documents need to be translated. So they've taken it to, I think a lawyer or a notary has to translate it. So they've taken it to a lawyer friend that they have that speaks English as well. So that's cool. And the latest I have in the acts of kindness from the people from El Salvador is we were at the Canadian Embassy getting our last birth certificate apostille for our son, as we weren't able to get it done at home because Quebec said, it has to be less than 5 years old. And we had sent it off before we left Canada, and they sent it back rejecting to do the apostille because I'd had to order a new birth certificate, which seems to me like a great big money grab, if you ask me. What's wrong with the birth certificate they issued over 10 years ago? It's from them. It's their document. I don't know if they can't authenticate their own documents. I don't know. What are they good for? But anyway, we went to the embassy, and we were there talking with one of the girls that was waiting. Interestingly enough, that story began by me noticing a picture of Justin Trudeau on the wall and having a comment about it, and she had a good chuckle about my comment. And we were talking about what we're doing, and that we were here for a month, and we're going to get a rental home in a different area, and we have kids we're going to homeschool right now until we maybe can get them to a school. And anyway, while we were talking, this other guy shows up with his daughter, and it turns out that we are in the same complex. He said, we're going to be neighbors. And he talked about his daughter going to a school there, and it was much cheaper than the ones we had looked at. So he gave me his WhatsApp number. I called him after our appointment was done, or I texted him after the appointment was done asking him about the school that he mentioned, because I like to learn more about it. And we just started talking, and I guess he had read our website. I didn't even realize I had my website address on our profile on WhatsApp, but I had it there, and he had read it, and he was, I guess, deeply moved by it, because he came back and said, we're Christians too, and they liked what our plans are for our mission, and that he could probably help us out. And he helped me with what is a good brand of mattress to get, some prices that could sort of expect to pay for furniture, because we were going furniture shopping yesterday, and even talking about his church that he went to, and then we could probably go to that church too, and they have a website or a YouTube channel actually. He said it's not translated yet, so maybe I can help get my Spanish up to a better level by listening to some more Spanish speaking, and maybe in a church sermon that's a good way to do it. But he's now become sort of our newest best friend, and he's said, is there anything that he can help us out with before we move next weekend? And we've just been having these conversations back and forth, and it's just truly amazing how generous the people here are with their time, and even just like bringing gifts or whatever when you come to visit someone. Like, it's just, I just love the culture here. It's not like Canada. Maybe Canada was like this more 40, 50 years ago. But things really changed over the years, and I really miss it. I really like the culture and atmosphere here. The people are different, and they're very kind and generous. Even people who really probably don't have much, right? You don't have to have a lot to be a generous person in your spirit. So I really, really enjoy that about the people here in this country.
Don't forget to hit the like button.